I get in movie and see man and wonder, who is this clown? Where is Venom? I need more Vino. Welcome to MovieVS, the show where we review films and compare them to their closest counterpart. Today we're taking a look at Venom and comparing it with our other favorite movie about a symbiote from space, Spider-Man 3. So what did you think of Venom?
Decent.
I would take the first letter of that, and that would be my review. The main review that I saw from people was that it felt like a movie that was made in 2005, but wouldn't have even been good then. And I completely agreed with that.
On the way to watching Venom, I was trying to decide if I wanted popcorn or not. And we were late to the movie. And up until the point the movie started, I was still questioning if I wanted popcorn or not. For the first 50 minutes of the film, I kept on thinking to myself, man, I could have gone and gotten popcorn just then. That scene was totally irrelevant. It didn't give me anything. And then after 50 minutes, I slowly forgot about regretting to get popcorn. Slow, useless start. Then I was super in it when Eddie Brock became Venom. And I loved their relationship together.
Yeah, that was actually my favorite part of the movie, was how they interacted.
Now, let's bite all the heads off and pile them up in the corner. Why would we do that?
I thought that and Tom Hardy's performance. I didn't like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, I just liked Tom Hardy. I don't think that role, with the same dialogue, would have worked with an actor that performed it in a different way. I think the way he delivered everything, how he seemed like kind of sick the whole time, and it made his like conversation with Venom feel really natural and dynamic, because it was like he was talking to a voice in his head. Like, I see people on the street talking like that constantly, and I play a game, Crazy Person or Bluetooth headset.
Or Venom.
Maybe I need to add Venom into that list.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at the end of the credits to see that Tom Hardy also played Venom, because I could see.
Did he?
Because I could see like them getting a voice actor to play Venom.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's good that he played Venom, because that made the voice inside his head his own voice, kind of just altered.
You know, this movie, Venom, is the first time I have heard Tom Hardy's normal voice.
But you also heard another voice of Tom Hardy.
That's true.
Tom Hardy versus Topher Grace as Eddie Brock.
Tom Brock versus Topher Brock.
Yes, Tom Brock versus Topher Brock.
I don't feel like we see enough of Topher Brock.
I think Topher Grace's Eddie Brock had more like character development. Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock, the only development we get of him as like a reporter and like what he cares about in life is that weird montage of his reporting at the beginning of the movie as he's motorcycling to work. I think Topher Grace had a lot more justification for like wanting to be Venom. Like, he'd been fired from his job because Peter turned him in, basically. He was ambitious, but like he had a flaw in that he was like, I'm willing to do anything to succeed in this job. I'm even willing to cheat at it.
With my killer Photoshop skills. Yeah, because we're just kind of led to believe that Tom Brock, just from that montage, is this cool reporter. Yeah, you see him questioning the CEO of the Life Foundation, and he doesn't even come off as that great of a journalist to me. And then he loses his job, and now he's a loser.
Yeah, with a lot of money. The scene design throughout the whole movie was kind of bad. It's just kind of disappointing. Like the first scene, the one where Michelle Williams beats Brock with a bag of Brocks. It looks like a dollhouse. It looks like the production designers had like $100 to decorate that room.
Yeah, except dollhouses cost way more than $100.
But then the Life Foundation, I thought, just looked like a bunch of like spaghetti noodles stabbed through a hill, just like stacked on top of each other.
Let's get into his apartment. He's complaining about how he's lost everything. He just goes, I lost everything. I lost my girlfriend and I lost my apartment.
That's everything. All two things I had.
Now I'm a loser, living in a loft apartment with exposed brick. We can't even afford exposed brick. That's fake. That panel was $30, which is kind of expensive.
Yeah. The only thing that made it bad was his shitty neighbor in the bathroom. Like, he had a neighbor that played music too loud.
Yeah.
File a noise complaint, bro.
I get noise complaints all the time, bro. You know the apartment is too big when he goes against an entire SWAT team in his living room.
Compare that to Peter Parker's apartment in Spider-Man 3, which is actually a shithole. They did a good job of establishing that he had a shitty life. He had no money.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Let's get into pacing. Like I said, the movie doesn't start until 50 minutes in.
When he gets the symbiote, that should be his inciting incident. He should be fired, and then he should try to like get another scoop, right?
Another scoop?
Another scoop
Of what?
of journalism.
He should have broken into the lab right after his first interview.
Yeah, he should have like turned back around to find like what are they hiding.
I didn't like that Pakistani Elon Musk.
Yes, that should have happened. But what actually happened was, and then finally decides, all right, I'm gonna call Jenny Slate up,
I work at the Life Foundation.
and we're gonna go into the Life Foundation.
Then I don't even know if the pacing, like once the action starts, is all that good either.
It's just fast.
You're more interested. The dynamic between Eddie and Venom is something just happens then. So
Yeah.
you're just interested.
Yeah. I think the pacing's still bad because the climax of the movie, it's like building up nicely to the climax, but then it just happens before you want it to or plan for it to.
Premature.
It's a premature. Then again, the ending of Spider-Man 3 also kind of just happens. You texted me because you were watching it today and you were like, I have 30 minutes left and Venom has barely appeared in this movie.
Yeah. Before that point, he had Venom in him
Yeah.
and he was being...
Your shots are so good.
I'd love to shoot you sometime.
Something I actually I like about Spider-Man 3 is the fact that Venom in that takes these people's like biggest weaknesses and amplifies them. It makes them like the worst parts of themselves, but it like makes them want it by giving them some success. I way preferred the fact that Venom was a character in Venom, like he had a personality and the dialogue back and forth, but I wish that he was more evil. Peter Parker, you see him like be bad. You see him like genuinely do bad things to people who didn't deserve it.
He fucking slaps Mary Jane.
Venom, he only does bad things to bad people. You don't see like the remorse of him doing something wrong, and that's what I was looking for. I wanted him to do something wrong, and that's what made him like be like, no, I'm fighting against this. I want it out of me.
There wasn't really a conflict between Tom Hardy and Venom.
And another thing about Venom and Spider-Man is that I, at times, genuinely felt like a little bit scared.
You're never really threatened by Venom in Venom.
That's another thing. The characters just in Venom, none of them had arcs. None of them changed or did anything except for Venom. And his arc wasn't really an arc. It was more like a, I'm bad, I'm good. That's it. Eddie Brock was just like badass reporter being a bad boy.
But we don't really know what that means.
Yeah, disobeying the rules.
Only
the whole
revealed in a
time.
montage.
Yeah, exactly. That's all Eddie Brock does. He has no character development.
Yeah.
He doesn't like get better as a person. He doesn't deserve his girlfriend back again at the end. His girlfriend doesn't change. The one-sided villain sounds like a 15-year-old 4chan user trying to justify his atheism.
Yeah, at least Spider-Man, as corny as it is, it tried. Like, I understand Sandman's trying to get money for his sick daughter.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Whereas in Venom, Eddie Brock, he's not different in the end. In fact, his girlfriend dumps him because he has that sense of morality, and then he just sees that sense of morality through by defeating the villain.
It's a bad superhero movie disguised as an anti-hero movie because the hero kills a couple people. Spider-Man 3 has 3 villains, though.
Do you count Harry as a villain?
Absolutely.
I love how in Spider-Man, when he's in that huge alley chase scene with Harry, he does the trip spider web thing.
Yeah.
And Harry fucking slams into it.
And then wakes up and he's like,
I know that face.
My point was like Spider-Man rushes over to him and he's like, oh my God, did I kill him? Of course you killed him. You trip webbed him. And he banged his head on every possible surface on the way down.
Oh my God.
So throughout Venom, we've established that Venom has a weakness for certain frequencies of sound, right? That is used to get Venom out of Eddie Brock in the first place through the MRI machine. That's why he like freaked out in the MRI machine in the first place. But At the end of the movie, in the climactic fight scene, they didn't exploit weaknesses in like a way that actually had any effect.
Doesn't Michelle Williams, like the scene where they merge, doesn't she turns on the frequency and she's like, look, I'm not so useless after all.
She does, you're right. But that's not how they defeat him. Because in the end, the only thing that happened was the two symbiotes just started ripping at each other until one got the upper hand.
I did like that though.
It was cool looking.
I really liked that visually, the slow motion of them, like all four of them kind of jumbled together. I was like pretty in it.
In the end of Spider-Man, that's how he defeats Venom, with the metal pipes.
Yeah, think how the Harvard Boomwhacker team would do against Venom. They would fucking slaughter him instantly. Basically what I'm saying is if you disregard 70% of the film, 30% of the film is really fun. I was so distracted by the possibility of popcorn in the beginning. I was kind of like Venom's character arc. Bad, good. What would you overall give the film?
Like a 6 out of 10, I think.
6.5 out of 10. Tom Hardy really just saves the film.
I think Spider-Man 3 was trying to give you a story, whereas Venom just felt like a series of actions and then a climax.
A premature climax.
A premature climax.
I don't know if I would have had a problem with Venom in Spider-Man 3 had I not seen Venom, because I just love the personality so much of Venom.
I think this reviewer said it best. Vino. 6 out of 16 people found this review helpful.
And we hope you found this review helpful. Thank you for watching our first episode of MovieVS.
Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff.
Thanks for watching. You know what Venom doesn't have?
What?
The theme of the power of friendship.
You're my friend.